Hello and welcome. My name is Joan Fitzgerald. I'm the editor-in-chief of the Regional Studies, Regions and Cities book series. The series brings together incisive and critically engaged international and interdisciplinary research on the resurgence of regions and cities in today's globalized, knowledge-driven, and networked world. Our books are of interest to geographers, economists, sociologists, political scientists, cultural scholars, as well as policymakers involved in regional and urban development. I'm happy to be here today and to be able to announce the 2023 Regional Studies Best Book Award for The City and Quality of Life by Peter Kresl of Bucknell University in Pennsylvania in the United States. Many congratulations to you and thank you for joining us today, Peter. Would you like to say a few words?
Sure, I'd be happy to. First of all, I'd like to say what everybody else has said in this position. It's a great honor to be recognized, to have one of your books recognized by RSA. It's the premier organization in the world, really, for urban and regional studies. And it's a great pleasure to be included in this list. I would love to be with you in Ljubljana, but as a retired faculty member, I don't have access to university travel funds, so travel is kind of costly, so I don't do a great deal of it anymore. But I would like to say something that is of interest to a lot of people, I think, and that is, I wrote this book when I was 81 years old, and 2 years later, I wrote another one, Public Policy in Contentious Times, and I continue to be active. And I think this is something that we should all think about. I gave a talk to some of my colleagues at Bucknell, just saying you have to think about your retirement about 4 or 5 years before you retire, or you're in trouble. Well, several years before I retired, I met with a colleague in Beijing, Chinese Academy of Social Sciences, Dipeng Fei, and we together put together the Global Urban Competitiveness Project. It's a group of 17 or 18 researchers from India to North America to Europe to Africa, and we meet annually. It keeps us all engaged. I'm the oldest of a lot, clearly, but it keeps us all interested in a group that likes to be together. Now, the last year we had a meeting in Venice, Italy, and we looked at looking back on COVID. What did it do to cities and regions? And the initial research done early on was people leaving New York and Chicago to go to flyover country, Bozeman, Montana, and Iowa City, Iowa. That's not what happened. When we looked back 2 years later, they moved from New York, but they moved to the Hudson Valley, to Western Connecticut, to Northern New Jersey. They wanted to be within a commute distance of the things that make the quality of life in cities so high. That is the cultural, the museums, the orchestras, the restaurants, the joy of being in a city. So they didn't leave the metro area. This coming year, we're going to be meeting in Leipzig. And here the issue is, how do mayors get their cities to recover from COVID? The distance learning, the lack of hospitality workers. What do mayors have to do to make their cities as exciting and viable as they were in the past? And the final that I'll say is maybe next year, and looking forward to the deteriorating city center and what to do about that. Richard Florida wrote a piece in which he said, we shouldn't think about the central business district anymore. It's a central connectivity district. So mayors have to rethink their cities to give them the vitality that will make them attractive to companies, hospitality workers, tourists, young people, etc. City and the quality of life. We're looking at things that make cities exciting places to live. And part of it is hard factors, like the transportation and research centers and things that the Chamber of Commerce focuses on. But the more important things, I think, are the soft factors, the soft elements of competitiveness. And that is recreation, culture, education, public safety, transportation, all these things that give, and affordable housing. Increasingly important now is affordable housing. So in that book, I focused on all of these different elements that a city can do to make itself attractive to a variety of people. And you think of the case in Deaton, the deaths of despair, people just living quiet lives of desperation, isolated from things. And in a city, you're not isolated. Their territory was from western Pennsylvania to central Oregon to northern Texas, the Great Plains area, where people were often isolated, lacked healthcare, lacked education, and so on. The city is where all that comes together, and that's what we have to maintain. The quality of life is higher in cities than it is anywhere, unless you like to go fishing for salmon in the morning and ski in the afternoon, like Seattle or someplace in Oregon.
Great.
So that's essentially what I tried to do.
Okay, Peter. Congratulations once again, and thank you for joining us today. Bye.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.